Guys, it's Jock with the accent of me, and today I have the lovely pleasure of interviewing Patricia, who is a great friend of mine. So, Patricia, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how old you are.
So, hi everybody. My name is Patricia or Patricia in
Patricia.
Portuguese.
Hmm.
I'm from Rio de Janeiro and I'm 41 years old, but right now I'm living in Madrid, Spain.
Hmm.
So, in a lovely city. So, yeah, I'm here. Thank you
Which
for
by
the
the
invitation.
which by the way is one of my favorite cities. I tell people Spain between Madrid and Barcelona. Those are probably
Barcelona,
two of
yeah.
my favorite cities. So I created this series called My Experience because I think it was very important to start opening up the conversation about the experiences of different people. We share something in common that we are from different countries, but we live in a country that's not our home country. And I wanted to start having the conversations on how does it feel? How does it feel not only just being a Brazilian, but being a woman living in Spain? So, my first question is why did you originally leave Rio to move to Madrid?
Um, First of all, I think that it's a challenge to move. Doesn't matter the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you move to the city and if you be far away for your family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
and go out to your common place, I
Mm-hmm.
think that it's like very very important.
Yeah.
Notice that it's not easy to do this.
Yeah.
The first time, my first experience was not here in Madrid or Spain. The first time that I tried to explore,
Mm-hmm.
another life, can I say this,
Yeah, another life.
was, yeah, in 2011. I'm from Rio, so I went to New York City.
Nice.
So I usually lived there like for a year and half
Okay,
almost.
year and a half.
So yeah, I was 27 years old, so it was interesting because for me it was challenging like speaking English.
Yeah.
Then I back to Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and then I lived in São Paulo for 6 years.
Okay.
But I noticed that after had like experience in New York, I really tried, to change my life again and try to learn another language.
Yeah.
So because that I came to Spain.
Very good.
So it was like a big challenge,
Yeah.
much more than when I was like in New York, because in Brazil we started learning English. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you have like a nice condition, it's not exactly mine, but
Yeah.
thanks God I had like a mom that helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned it, I have time to learn a little bit about my English, but here in Spain was very difficult,
Yeah.
because I just had a class like 3 months before.
Okay. Now, I always say the same thing to people because, again, what we share is I lived in Spain. I had to learn how to speak Spanish. It was a
Yeah.
very isolating and lonely experience for me. You have a little different story because you've been working in Spain. So tell me, was the initial entry point into Spain learning the language? Was it lonely for you, or how was your experience?
Was hard. I
Okay.
think that this is the word, not lonely, because I had friends, when I just arrived here, like one of my best friends lived here. Right
Okay.
now she's in LA,
Okay.
but so she helps me a lot, to introduce, in a group.
Yeah.
She showed me the way that I could start work here.
Nice.
So it's was like very helpful for me.
Yeah.
But it was very tough
Yeah.
because for me it was too much, because I came to have like 6 sabbatic months
Yeah.
only to rest a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the second day that I was here, I got a job. So it
Nice.
was very difficult, understand the market
Yeah.
and understand the language.
Okay.
And then I need to study because I came to do like a post graduation
Yeah.
in fashion window and visual merchandising.
Nice.
I'm working with advertising, but I try to live like a plan B in my life.
Good. Nice.
So yeah, what was very challenging. I think,
Challenging,
no,
yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
Because yeah, was is difficult, because it's too much information.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, of course, I felt like myself, like in a place that I don't have like too much support. So it's not easy to be here at the beginning. But I
Okay.
think that at the end, everything changed.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
important,
worked out for the
to
better at the end.
yeah.
Okay, okay. So I always say something, and I wanna get your viewpoint on something. As a black person, when I came to Spain, I I looked at Spain a little different because, of course, I come from the land of racism. So it was a little bit different of an experience for me coming into Spain. I don't think, because I was met with a lot of people asking me, is this country racist? Are they racist? And I was like, I don't know. And I was genuinely being honest because I think people that are from different countries, when it comes to Spain, we're only speaking about Spain, people. When it comes to Spain, I think it exists. I do think racism exists, but I do think that they look at certain groups of people as exotic. And I know personally that they view Brazilians as exotic. So, could you tell us how was your experience being Brazilian? Because you're technically you would be considered like a white Brazilian, right? Technically.
Yes, technically, yes.
Okay, so what's been your experience going to Europe where you being Brazilian comes first and then everything else comes second?
I think that there is racism here all the time. Doesn't matter if it's with about color or if about the place that you came from, and
True.
again, if you have money or
Have money.
not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that until now, I think that there are like some situations that I feel, that being more than Latina, being Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because the Brazilian woman in general, the people look like as like a slut. I don't want to say
Or
like bad words here.
exotic. We could just say exotic. Exotic.
Yeah, it's like so the people think that they connect, Brazil parties, the sexualization in general.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not nice
True.
because put us in a group
Yep.
as that like everybody's the
This.
same.
Yep.
I think that I had like some situation that was not nice for me.
Mm-hmm.
For example, being Latina, the people said like back to your country in one situation in a bar in Malasanya,
Mm-hmm.
or almost, I mean, not 100%, but almost the guy that I try to meet when I say that I'm Brazilian, there is like,
Mm.
hot, like
Yep.
put me in a place that
Yep.
how this, so
Yep.
it's, and not only this, but I think that the Spanish people in general, not all, of course,
Yeah.
but most of them, they are not used to, lead with another kind of people that is not from Spain or
Mm-hmm.
Europe, like
Agreed.
it's crazy because here most of the population it's white.
True.
You don't have like too much black people here,
True.
even if the people consider me like white.
White. Yeah.
I'm Brazilian, I'm Latina,
You're Latina.
so
Yeah.
there's like a big difference, and I think that this has happened all around the world.
True.
Like there is
Prejudice. Yep.
prejudice
Prejudice. Yep.
now around the world with Latin people, with black people, with gay people.
Yep.
So I think that doesn't matter where you are.
Agree.
Always will, happen this in one moment.
True. Do you
Uh,
think?
Not surprise me.
Oh,
It's
100%.
happened.
My experience was similar. I was always met with over sexualization. Um,
Yeah.
because they think black guy, Brazilian guy, they think that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I would always be able to tell, but fortunately, and I don't say this to um, discourage anybody from wanting to go to Spain or living in Spain. I think Spain is a country of beauty. I think the standard is they want you to have a nice body. They want you to have nice teeth. They want you to have nice skin. And my experience was never racism. It was always over sexualization. It was always, oh,
Yeah.
he's hot. I want to have sex with him. And I compared it. I think I told you this story. I compared it to one of a friend of mine, and I always say there's two types of beauty. That's beautiful in the eyes of the universe. Everybody thinks you're beautiful, and then it's maybe beauty in your culture, where your culture says, "Oh no, you're beautiful," but maybe not the world. And one of my friends was not universally beautiful because of his features. His features
Yeah.
you would have to be black or brown to understand his beauty. And he came to Spain and he hated it. And he's like, I hate this country. I just came to visit. They're racist. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you've never had racism here. And I was like, I've never witnessed it. And it's not to toot my horn, but I think a man of a certain height, a certain look, a certain body type, Spain kind of, and I've seen it with women also, they kind of say, you're in this group, we accept you because
Look like that there is like a prototype,
it's,
like
yes, it's a prototype. So because it's a prototype, and if you fit in that prototype, it would always be okay for you to be in the country because something that you've heard that I've never heard anybody tell me go back to my country. So I've never heard that. Nobody's ever told me that. I've had incidents where maybe me and two people are
because
having arguments.
yeah, but because you are from like a big that the world consider like a big important country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different. So right now we are talking about value
Sure.
around the world. Like the value that you have. Like you are from South America, so you
Right.
came here to get a husband or to steal our job, something like really,
Which is weird.
like I could have like a nice situation and you can come here to because someone offered me a job or
Mm-hmm.
because as I said I came to be like sabbatic 6 months. So
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe a year, so it doesn't matter. So I think that there is like different levels, of racism, that it's like color, no color, where you know the place that you
You're
are
from.
from,
Yep.
if you are man, if you are woman, if you are rich or not, because you can,
Yep. That's true.
put
That's
it
true.
on that
Do you
sort of
do you find
situation.
do you find the situation being in Spain? How do you compare being a woman in Brazil to being a woman in Spain? How would you compare those in your eyes?
Mm. Again, I have the passport, but I'm not from here.
Right.
Like doesn't matter. I'm here like almost 10 years,
Right.
and I'm still the Brazilian girl that have like a passport.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do like this comparison. I don't know how
Comparison.
to
Yeah.
say this.
Comparison. Yeah.
Comparison because Brazil is my country, so
True.
I'm used to live in that kind of culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's different. Here's I'm, as you said, I'm the exotic.
Yeah.
I'm the difference. I'm nice. I'm beautiful. I'm intelligent, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm Latin.
You're
So
Latin. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to have like a real relationship with this
Oh.
like Latin, person because it's so traditional. My family.
Right.
So I mean, I think that there are like some moments that this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time. I
Right.
could like general
Generalize.
generalization.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Generalization.
generalize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's happened. Yeah.
Okay. Going into what you just said, could you? Is there like like you said, generalization? Is there a generalization from Latin America to Europe? Like as far as like, I would say, I'll give you an example. in the states, it's rare for us to marry outside of our country. It's rare for us because it's. I just had a friend this morning. We talked. He was dating someone. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was dating someone, and the person was American. But the person did not want to date him because he thought you only want to date me for money. You only want to be with me because I'm American. It
But this is the problem.
That's what I'm saying. So it's weird. I've never. Is there a such thing? Because I know that if you look up in globally the what's it called? The I think it's called the biggest mix of relationship is Latina and white man. That's the biggest mix in the world. Is Latina from
Okay.
South America and white American man. That's the biggest interracial relationship. Is there a thing where maybe being in Brazil or being from Brazil that it's been taught to want to marry a man from Europe or marry a man from the States or
Yeah, of course, because the people think that the people that live here have, of course, they have like a different situation, like it's living here is more safe,
yeah.
or the condition to go out and buy and have like a nice salary, it's easier
Mm-hmm.
than Brazil, Latin America. So there is like this fake story, no, that when you go to America or come to Europe, you have like an amazing life, and it's not
Okay.
true. I think that the mindset about the people from this, you know, from this place, I mean, for the first world place,
First world countries, yeah.
is yeah, yeah. First problems. No, how can
First
I say?
what is it? Not first oh first world problems. Yeah, first world problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first world problems, like I think that for me it's like lack of information,
True.
because it generates, this kind of opinion that all the Latinas want to come to get a husband and live the best of their lives.
True.
But I'm saying that lack of information because you need to understand that, of course, there are a lot of problems
True.
in South America, or doesn't matter the country.
True.
But at the same time, there are
Problems everywhere.
it's yeah, it's not only one situation, like it's not everybody. I mean, I think that, as I said, I live in different places. I have
Mm-hmm.
experience in New York, I have experience in Rio, in São Paulo, in Madrid, maybe I change again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people here that have never,
Left. Never.
left, like
No.
from Madrid,
From Madrid.
so
Yeah.
I think that I have much more culture, and I explore much more about the life
Yeah.
more than those people,
True.
because I make trip for Asia, or like
Everywhere.
I know a lot of place, so
Yeah.
everywhere, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, it's about information.
True.
We live in a world that it's like the globalization. It's here,
Yeah.
so we need to adapt, with different people, with different culture. It's
Okay.
so rich,
It
get this
is.
kind of
It is.
information for me.
And I want to say to everyone, even though she is considered a white Brazilian, me and Patricia
Okay.
have so much in common. It's crazy. Like, we have so much in common. And that's why I wanted to interview her, because I think I randomly, a black guy from America, technically white girl from Brazil, living in Madrid, I live in Mexico City. What could they have in common? And we have a lot of things in common. And I created this to kind of start showing all of us that are living, if whether we're immigrants from another country, some people like use the word expat, um, that we're all living some of the same experience. And what she said was very important is I've lived in 3 different countries at this point. I lived in many different states in America. So my level of culture, my level of understanding different people may be a little higher than some. And I'll say this to what Patricia said earlier about being the exotic one. I in Mexico have been told I do not date black men. I've heard that. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? What did you say? And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't, I've never looked at that. And that goes into my one of my last questions. With all the experience and the culture that you have, does it make you, how do I want to say that? Does it make you better when it comes to meeting new people, or does it make you a little like, let me figure it out?
No, no, I think that make me much better. I think
Okay.
that I'm an open person
Mm.
to try to understand,
Yeah.
and explore a new culture. I
Nice.
think that it's give to my life much more, it's not
Intelligence.
intelligence,
Yeah.
the word.
Intelligence.
Yes, could be, but it's not
Or
exactly
meaning.
this word.
Meaning. Gives my life more meaning. Yeah.
Yeah, more meaning. Yes, exactly. Because, for example, I have a different friends, different types of friends, different conversations. So I could have like different point of views,
Yeah.
for the same situation, as we discuss a lot about United States.
Yep.
So you can understand my point of view as a Latina,
Yep.
and as a Latina that live it there, and I really like, your country.
Yeah.
It's
But.
a nice place to go and to be. Not exactly right now, but yes. But in United States, for me, it's like I had like amazing experience there.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice, understand
Yep.
for a person that is from that place,
Yeah.
have like some opinion,
Yep.
so you can match with your opinion and you
Mm-hmm.
can pass this information for another person.
Yep.
So I think that you create like a big circle,
Yeah.
that you can like spread, like
Information.
and change a lot, the mindset of the people.
Oh, no, that was good.
Like
No, it was good.
yes, but to
No,
explain is
no,
different for you.
no, that was good. What was I gonna say? So coming to the end of the interview, I always give everybody the opportunity to let go of one thing in their life. So how this usually works is you get to choose one word of what you're letting go. Of one word of what you're letting go. And I usually go
That
for
I let it go,
you
that I
have
let it
you
go.
to let go.
Don't.
That you do let go, that you're letting it go. One thing, one word.
I think that the word that I most hate is
Okay.
the prejudice.
Prejudice. Okay. Letting prejudice go.
Prejudice.
Letting prejudice go. I like that. If I had to give one word for this interview, I would say expectations. Let go of
Mm,
expectations. Like, I think that's important.
yeah, but I think that the expectations come from us, so it's
100%. I think there was a, I think it was it
come
Dolly.
for the other. So it's like, but you asking about me,
No, no, no.
about what's
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, no, no, no. Just for me. For mine would be expectations. Yours would be prejudice. So, yeah, I think I think I do agree with you. I do think that we set the expectations for maybe how people treat us, how we want to be treated. I think when
how
you
you accept this,
and how
like
we accept it. That's right. You know.
because sometimes it's a problem of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So, if someone talk to you, it's their problem, not
Yeah.
yours.
Absolutely.
So,
And that's I think talking to you, learning more about you, it's taught me a little bit more of no expectations because I think when you look at people as just being human and you look at that we all have a different story, we may come from different countries, different cultures. I think everybody, like you just said, I think I'm the same. It opens me up to meeting new people. I like learning people's story. I like learning where they come from, their cultures, but it does take a level of bravery to look at someone that's different than you and maybe go against what the world has told you, or maybe what the world has told me about Brazilians or Colombians or Mexicans, and I have to make a judgment for myself and say, no, 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 like that's not. I don't think that's true. You can't put all of them in one box and make them all like be this one thing. So yeah, I agree. So I want to definitely thank you for this. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. And as always, guys, Patricia once again, and As always, nos vemos pronto y adiós.
And thank you very much. I appreciate to be part of your show. So thank you.
No problem.